Man, hey, it's Caleb here. Thank you all for coming back. We actually started a live video from my page. We're talking with the amazing Miss Amy Trask, District 22. She's going to be talking about, and like I said before, normally, I kind of work from the back end in the background. However, right now, I think it's an opportune time to come forward with some truths, come forward with some folks that I know will do a good job. We're talking about the sheriff's race. We're talking about the House of Representatives. We're talking about all kind of things. It's election time. All right, and it's important that we do the right thing by our candidates, especially the ones that we need there. Not just want them there, but we need there. And Miss Trask, I think is the person. Not only do I think I know, and I see a lot of people speaking on the other races that's going on, and that's cool. Um, right now, this is an opportunity to introduce to some and remind others of Miss Trash, who's going to be doing some good work for us because I'm going to speak that thing into existence. Um, yeah, the good book that I love, man, said, man, we speak those things that's not as though they were. And I love that book. And so, without further ado, I'd like for Miss Trash just to say a few words to us. Well, more than a few, and we get a chance to go back and forth and kind of ask a few questions, and she kind of reintroduce herself or introduce herself to those that don't know her. So, Miss Trask, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. We're in a hotel right now because our air conditioning broke.
Oh
But
no.
it was an adventure. It was an adventure, but we hit a hot 88 degrees in our house, so we left for the night. We're done. Um, but thank you for having me. For everyone that doesn't know me, my name is Amy, and I am running for Florida State House District 22. I'm so grateful for the support that our campaign has seen so far. We are looking to do things differently. We've seen mudslinging politics and playground politics for years and years and years, and it only got worse with the last president in office, I would say. And so I want to show that we can do things differently. I have a no mudslinging policy, and I'm trying to show that everyday people can do good things too. And so I know what it's like to struggle. I was a homeless teenager, and then I worked to graduate, and then I was a single mom with 3 jobs, putting myself through college. Um, and I know what that struggle is like. And so right now we're seeing legislation that doesn't impact the people making it. It affects those without means. And so I think it's time that we have someone who has been through the ringer to be people making decisions because they can do so from a lens of compassion and empathy. I also have a background in conflict resolution and de escalation, civil discourse. I'm grateful I've worked with Harvard for the last almost 5 years. And so I've been working with them. I was nationally recognized in Washington, D.C., and I spoke about academic freedom, about how we can disagree without being disagreeable, how we can have constructive dialogues, and how we should be listening to every voice in the room to make sure that we're making legislation that is truly representative of all of us. At the end of the day, the person who wins this seat is going to be a representative for Alachua, Gilchrist, and Levy. The person at the end of the day is going to have to make legislation for all of Florida, and that's a really big task. And so we need someone who can work with their colleagues, like-minded or not, to pass legislation. Because if we don't work
Right.
together, we
Right.
don't pass anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've written two. I know you and I have talked about it, but I've written 2 pieces of legislation so far that I plan on introducing in January.
Right.
Um,
Right.
one on domestic violence and one on women's health information and geolocation data in our apps. So we're getting
Yeah.
somewhere. But I'd be
Yeah.
happy to answer any questions that you have.
No, this is good. I was saying on my profile before we was having like the technical difficulties. I understand why now. Shoot, my phone is acting up. Um, one of the things that we have to do, especially people like myself who have a stage with some of the citizens that you may not, is to talk about some important stuff. And I think a good way to break the ice is to just ask some basic questions, or just to hear you out, so to speak. Because a lot of times we only know what we what we know based off what a newspaper article said or based off what the news media said, and we never get a chance to actually talk to the candidate to kind of hear some ideas or even some thoughts on some of the things that's going on like right now. And I just want to dog leg it to one question. In the height of everything that's been going on, we know that last year was a tough year for the city of Gainesville, Alachua County, with gun violence. And that's one of that's my heart. That's what I've been focusing on. And I like to hear just your concern or what you think about what's going on and what are some of the things that we could possibly do or introduce as far as legislation to kind of curb some of those things.
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I've actually done a lot in that space already. So I've worked with Commissioner Desmond Duncan Walker on multiple occasions
Awesome.
at symposiums at Santa Fe College, from everything from gun reform to academic freedom to giving those with carceral experience education and opportunity. And you'll find that there's a lot of interwoven themes within the issues that we have. When it comes to gun reform or gun violence, I think it would be a mistake to say it's just one cause or there's just one solution, because I think it's a very nuanced issue. For me, I think that there are a lot of causes from what I've seen with our uniform crime reports and from speaking with a lot of the professionals in the field. Um, I know that access is huge, but so is mental health. And
Oh yeah.
the number one gun violence, crime is suicide. That's what we see the most, and that tells you that mental health does play a huge component. So access, mental health, economic disparities, economic inequality. If everyone has the ability to feed their families, if everyone
Hmm.
has the same opportunities, they don't have to do things they wouldn't normally do to make ends meet. And I think if we can start treating our people better, by ensuring that they have access to resources and equity in resources, then we'll see a lot of these numbers go down. When it comes to legislation, I would want to expand mental health care. I would look at education with our guns. Like, I don't think that we should have people walking around concealed carry with absolutely no training.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I think that's kind of insane. And I would want, again, I would go mental health, and then I would try to fix the economic disparity as much as I can. I would look at programs that could address that. I think instead of just banning guns, like a lot of people are for, I think if we address the root causes, then we can still respect people's rights to own a firearm safely and respectfully.
Awesome, 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 and that's my view too. As a person that trains in firearms and all of those things, it kind of blows my mind that we have people that just can walk around with no training. It's a lot of accidents that's happened. I personally have trained 3 or 4 people that shot themselves already, and I said, "Oh my God, I need to get trained." I mean, but it's after a wound; it could have been fatal, and so I think it's imperative that we have some sort of ramification that governs us as far as concealing. The other thing was that you don't have to be a Florida resident to carry a gun in the state of Florida. That's weird to me. You're not a Floridian, but you can come to Florida and do what Floridians do, and that's kind of ridiculous to me. To be honest with you. So yeah, that's thank you for that. I just and I'm asking these questions just basically so people can get to know you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask you some. I don't know. What's your favorite color?
Ask away. Uh, I think it's sage green now. I discovered it the other day,
Oh,
and I'm kind
all
of
right.
obsessed.
All right. Board game. Board game. What board game do you like?
Oh gosh, Schitt's Creek, Monopoly, or Catan?
All right. All right. All right. Checkers or chess?
Checkers.
All right. All right, cool. Just quick, rapid fire, rapid
I
fire.
love it. I love
No,
it.
yeah, yeah. One of the things that we talk about all the time is some of the disparities that go on in East Gainesville. I know we're talking about a wide range of things. I just want to hear your thoughts and hear your heart, so that people can hear your thoughts. One of the things that troubles me, I am a East Gainesville. That's where I come from, and I'm a proud East Gainesvillian. I don't live in the East right now, but I am an East Gainesvillian. I've been serving there for over 20 years, trying to get resources and whatever is needed to those communities. And the worst thing I think is going on right now is that there's no resources. Let me just say that to keep it broad, but specifically, there's no food. And there's no food. It's a food desert.
Yep.
Um, I'm old school Gainesville. I can remember when the sheriff's office was Winn-Dixie, right?
Oh,
I can
I love
remember
Wendy's.
when, yeah, yeah, I can remember when Tiger Bay was the drive-in movie, right? I remember those things. I remember you can go on the hill and there was a pick a flick over there. You can buy a movie out of the store. All of these things. There was a cleaners. There was a grocery store. You can go up towards University and there's another grocery store there, or down eight. That it was so much more, but now it seems as if nobody is interested in really tackling and or addressing this food desert we have in East Gainesville. And I'm just interested to kind of hear your thoughts on it. I've already heard your thoughts on it, but I want other people to be able to hear your heart on it.
Thank you. Yeah, so I know that Anna Prizia has made it a mission to address that. And before I say anything, I'm going to say that my opponent in this primary, when he was a commissioner, after he was a commissioner, when he was running for mayor, he stated that he wanted to allocate funding for a grocery store on that side of town, and it never happened. We never saw the funding. We never saw it put aside. And so I recognize that there is a lot that needs to be done on that side, and that I would encourage as a human being, but also as a legislator, to work with the county to make sure that they put adequate resources over there. As a legislator, I want to make sure that Floridians have resources, that Floridians have access to basic necessities like food. Food,
Yeah,
water,
yeah, for sure.
transportation. I mean, at the end of the day, we can't expect our constituents to contribute economically, contribute to our society if they don't have the means to do it. We don't have a right to expect them to work or expect them to participate if they have no adequate transportation or they don't have food. Those are two really important things, and I think
Yeah.
that a lot that needs to be done.
Cool, awesome. I totally agree. And I think we're addressing some other issues that we have in the East Gainesville area. I don't know if it's by choice of force, but some stuff is getting done. So thank you for that. Now, Amy, what's your favorite fruit?
Apple, Gala apples, they're delicious.
Yeah, damn, I thought you were gonna say the Granny Smith.
Nope,
Okay, all
only
right.
in a.
What's your favorite comedy movie?
Oh, don't make me choose. I can't choose all of them.
Okay,
I love comedy.
all right, all right. Yeah, yeah. I just rapid fire. What's your favorite place to visit?
In Florida, any of the
Yep.
springs.
The Springs was Jenny, Blue, Poe.
Probably blue, but closely followed by Jenny.
I like Jenny.
I
Jenny's a
like
lot
Jenny
more.
a lot. I like Jenny a lot.
Yeah, I like Jenny. It's more free and more kind of open. I
Yeah.
can camp. I gotta have the electricity though. I can't go full throttle with the rest of that.
Yeah.
I gotta have electricity. My brother goes out there every year for a week at a time, and he has a good time out there.
Oh, and
Um,
Kennedy Space Center. I could be there all day. In
oh yeah, I
another,
like Kennedy.
oh yeah, in another life, I'm an astronaut. Not in this one. It's
Oh.
scary, but it's fun.
All right. All right. I want folks to know kind of our connection. I do a lot of community stuff out in the city of Archer. And to me, for those that don't know, I was out in Archer today. I'll be out there again this week. Well, actually I'll be out there tomorrow and then a third time. We're gonna be doing some canvassing this week, kind of getting the word out about Miss Trask, because listen, it's important to me, especially for the city of Archer. And Archer is one of those places that has a very, very community oriented mayor. It's Iris Bailey. So, and she has been working with us and my organization, St. Philip's Lodge Number 55, Inspire Florida, and Legacy Security Firm, and anybody that's willing to put their hand to the plow to do the work. That's what we want. We need somebody to do the work. We keep hearing people say that it's underserved, and we understand that the harvest is right, but the laborers are few. And I'm happy that we have Miss Trask that's willing to do the work. She shows up. She's at these town halls. She's been there, and it didn't become a concern when she started running. It was already a concern. Just trying to put herself in position to do more. Um, Tell us about Archer a little bit. Some of your doing and some of your interests and some of the things you want to see happen out there, and or how do you support the citizens out there? After hearing some of their concerns.
I love Archer for starters. I'm very, very grateful I've received the endorsement of Mayor Iris Bailey. I've loved getting to know her and working with her. I've heard a lot of funding concerns. I've heard, the desire to want to build another school, to fix the roads, and importantly, keeping our education within the public system instead of chartering. So I've heard a lot of the issues from constituents there, and I've heard a lot of the issues at the town halls and from the mayor. And I would definitely work with the city of Archer to see what I can do for funding allocation to get those things possible. I want to look at how we allocate these funds because it's been brought to my attention that we could maybe allocate funding or divvy up funding a little bit more fairly. And so I want to look at that to make sure that Archer has the resources to thrive on their own. Because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be reliant on each other, but we should have each other as neighbors if needed. And so I want to make sure that Archer has every resource that they need to be able to flourish and thrive on their own.
This is great. This is great. You are a person after my own heart. Every year we do a toy giveaway. Our Masonic Lodge does, and last year we were able to give away over 220 bikes and over 300 toys. Every kid that comes through that gate, we want them to leave with a bike, and if we can't, definitely lead with the toy. I don't know with our funding this year how successful we'll be, but we're gonna try. These are some of the things that we wanted to do, and so now uh, I want to see how we can kind of concentrate our efforts or have a collaborative effort to kind of serve and give to the people of Archer because the word has gotten out. And so we get people from surrounding areas and there's a need there too. But we really, really want to get to Archer where it's underserved and under-resourced and things. And I want to say publicly, thank you for having a concern for that, not only having a concern for that, but putting your hand to the plow. So many people, listen, so many people, they want your vote, right? But you don't hear from them after that, right? We don't hold people to the fire. They want your vote, but they're not really concerned about anything but getting in the office or getting these titles. And I say to those people, if you want to impress me, lead yourself. All right. Lead yourself before you want to lead some other people, man, or show yourself approved. Get out there. Let me see your face. Let me see your work. Let me hear your ideas. Not necessarily what I want to hear all the time, but what needs to be done. So I'm very very appreciative for that, and I think we got a winner. You are our prize, and I'm endorsing you from Inspire Florida. And with the Violence Interrupters, I have the Violence Interrupters and the mentoring program through. You definitely earned my endorsement, and thank you for everything you've done so far. And when we get in that seat, everything that you're gonna do, okay? And you ever seen Little Shop of Horror?
I haven't. I've seen
Oh my
I've seen
God.
bits and I
Oh my
haven't.
God.
I
I
know.
caught you.
I
I caught
know.
you off guard with that one. I caught you off guard.
Yeah, my husband asks me like, "Hey, have you seen these very basic classic movies?" And when I say no, it's like the world has ended. I'm so sorry.
I caught you. I knew I was gonna catch you off guard with that one. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's one of my favorite movies. I'm getting ready to watch it here in a minute.
Let me just add
Um,
it to my watch list really quick.
yeah. You got to do that. Little Shop of Horror. Don't get the one with the alternate ending. Get the one with the regular ending. You know,
Okay.
don't. Yeah, some people like the other one. One last thing. I really want to hear your thoughts on, the legislation that you already began to write. I just want to hear your thoughts. It's a lot of conversation going on from here to DC about women's rights. Um, and a lot of times we don't necessarily tackle women's rights because some of those folks start rearing their heads up, right? They start saying stuff and being offensive and stuff like that. So talk to us a little bit about the state we're in as far as women's rights and some of the things you would like to see, be it local on the state level or on the national level. I know some of the things that you're going to do will impact us immediately if we can get it done. So could you please kind of just share with us a little bit?
Yeah.
I know it's an
Thank you.
open-ended question, but I'm just.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Sorry, let me put that away. Yes. So women's rights have been under attack in the state of Florida and throughout the country. Obviously, with the Dobbs decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, we've lost the right to choose. We've lost basic autonomy, and that is concerning because it rolls over into other aspects of our healthcare. If you research, there have been cases in this country where women's legs have been bound together and forced into a C-section against their will because they couldn't push out in time, and then the life of the baby became priority. And so you've seen women imprisoned for abortions that they didn't even have after having a miscarriage, and because they couldn't prove it, they're in prison, which is inherently racist when you look at it. We see women of color have a disproportionately higher chance of miscarriage. And so when we make abortion legislation, what we're doing is creating racist bills. But more than that, not more than that, but in addition to that, we're seeing women's rights being attacked across the board. Our geolocation data is not safe. Our femtech applications, so the apps on our phones that help us plan or prevent a pregnancy, that tracks our menstrual cycles and our ovulation, those are not protected as personal health information under HIPAA. And because of that, we've seen 6 states threaten to use that information against women when prosecuting. And so we see domestic violence rampantly high. We see a need for funding and resources for expecting moms and for single moms, especially. We see pregnancy and postpartum discrimination in the workplace, especially in the hospitality industry. And I can speak from experience on that. So when it comes to women's rights, there's a lot that we need to do to be okay. I've started by writing 2 pieces of legislation. The first piece of legislation that I wrote addresses that femtech data. So it addresses our geolocation data. It addresses our personal health information, and it forbids the sale or share of that information to analytics and marketing companies. It forces applications to provide clear, clear information on how the information is going to be shared or stored or used, and provide opt-out options. And it forbids the sale or share of geolocation data as well. So that bill does a lot. It's a very big bill. Obviously, I can't affect HIPAA at a state level, but what I can do, as 5 other states have done, has done already, is protect this information under state law. And so that's number one. The second one that I just wrote is called the Haven Act, and it addresses domestic violence head on. And it's threefold, but it tries to eliminate that immediate danger when a partner tries to leave their partner in the moment of domestic violence scenarios. So,
Awesome.
yeah, but we've got a long ways to go. So expanding WIC, EBT, ELC, things that women need to be able to work and thrive and rise up. in addition to all of the other things that we've already spoken about, women's rights have a long way to go.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Man, that is important. A lot of people kind of shy away from the topic a little bit until they're kind of forced to talk about it, right? And then it gets a little uncomfortable for us guys. It gets a little
Right.
uncomfortable because we don't want to have those conversations. It's pretty taboo with us because we don't know. And that should be a telltale sign. If we don't know something, if it make you feel uncomfortable to talk about, you probably shouldn't be speaking on it, and you probably shouldn't be putting laws in place about it if you don't know. All right. So that's if you don't if well, I don't want to say that right now. It's not just my lives, but it's certain stuff that we should kind of just back away on, right? And
Yeah.
let the people who know do stuff like that. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Um, and my one of the things, and this is the last question for me, just in our conversation, because
Sure.
I got a million questions, but we can always come back. We just want to make sure that we got the people that they need to hear on here. One of the things that we struggle with, being an African American male, being a black male, is disproportionate minority contact. And I've been kind of trying to, well, not kind of been combating that for more than 20 years now. And I don't know really what the remedy is. I don't know if it's hiring more or having a more ethnic a police department. I don't know if it means changing legislation. I don't know if it means changing how police officers are trained. I don't know where that starts. I don't know if it starts in the academy. I don't know if it starts in the front line of leadership with a corporal or sergeant. I don't know where it starts. But what we do know is that there is uncomfortable amount of disproportionate minority contact going on. And I'd just like to hear your thoughts about that as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that needs to be done. I've had conversations with two of the sheriff candidates about critical intervention training. When it comes to physical contact and the way that we train. And unfortunately, right now, that is one of the smallest components of training when you're in BRT, when you're a basic recruit. And we need to be expanding that. And I've talked to Chad Scott and I've talked to Latrell. And it's a huge thing. I don't want to speak on behalf of African American males or African American females because I don't know. I'm a white woman. What I do know is that I will work with anyone and everyone to make sure that that there is safety and that there is equality, and to make sure that everyone's comfortable where they are. And that's I fully support critical intervention training. De-escalation. I'm absolutely horrified by the stories that I have read, news stories of violence and escalation on calls that could have been handled differently. It's I think
Yeah.
it's we need to have representation across the board, but we also need to have common decency, human decency, and understanding and compassion. And
Right.
I will say that at the 4A forum, we talked about criminal justice reform, and I was the only, my opponent agreed that there needed to be reform, but then didn't give a bunch of explanations. And I think that when it comes to this, we need to do things fairly, and we need to find a way to do things that are equal across the board. We see, African Americans being imprisoned for way higher amounts of time, and penalized more severely than their white counterparts. We see African American violence. We don't see as much white violence, when it comes to our police departments. Um, there's so many things that need to be done. There's so many things that need to be done. And I will work with anyone I need to ensure that there, again, is safety, equality, and education.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, listen, I know I'm asking but hey, listen, this is good because people get to know you and kind of your thought process. Because a lot of times, people who get into,
Yeah.
politics, they don't seem real. They don't seem real, and
Yeah.
we get an opportunity to kind of hear you now. Let me ask you this: what's your favorite meal?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Okay, surf or turf?
Oh, if it's shrimp, then that yes, but I'll take a steak any day, any day.
What about crabs? You don't eat no
But
crabs?
I'll eat crab, but I'm so impatient. I hate cracking them. I just
Oh Lord, you got to come. We gonna eat some blue crab, some garlic crab. You with it?
oh yeah, I love a good I made seafood boil for my family last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I know I'm gonna get an invite soon, but listen, we got to get together. We gonna do some garlic crab, and you know what I'm saying. We gonna hook it up. We gonna hook
Absolutely,
it. Amy,
absolutely.
thank you so much. Thank you for kind of just talking and kind of answering my silly questions and kind of getting to the nitty gritty about what you stand on. And I think it's important. I'm grateful to have you on our ballot, and I want people to know that this is our person, and we need to get behind her, and we need to vote, vote, vote. Early voting has ended. I think we go Tuesday to vote, right?
Yes.
Um, get out and vote, man, please, because a lot of times, man, we get in our feelings or we work and we say, oh man, I can't choose. I don't know these people. Well, anybody that gets a chance to watch this live video, you can't say that about Miss Trask. So now you know what I'm saying.
Let
What
me
was your favorite?
Caleb, I'm going to say one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to be accessible. So if you have any questions before we go into the ballot box, let me give you my email and my phone number. Like
Yeah,
I've
for
given
sure.
it to a lot of people on the campaign trail. I want to be accessible and I want to hear from you. My email is voteamytrask@gmail.com. My cell phone is 352-815-7393. Call me, text me. At the end of the day, if I'm in this seat, it's because of you and I'll be representing you. And if you have a concern, I want to hear about it genuinely. So please, reach out.
This is important. So please, if you didn't get that, run this live back. And I will give you my phone number, but I'm not as important as Amy. And so y'all just call Amy. Just call Amy. And listen, to Miss Shanae, thank you so much for hooking us up. Miss Nina Grayson, thank you so much for hooking us up. We had some technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're gonna get the word out. And hopefully just before or on the day early of voting, I'll be back on here doing the same thing, man, and talking about some other candidates, but especially Miss Trash because she stuck out to me more than anybody else. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Amy, do you want to say one last thing before we end the live?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has supported us. And if you're taking the time to look up our platforms and who we are, thank you. And I'm always excited and eager to hear from you. And regardless of how this turns out on Tuesday, but knock on wood, we're going to win. I look forward to working with you side by side to fix these issues. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you so much. And to everybody that's watching, check her out. Check her out. Go check the record. I know you're gonna look at her opponents and check his record. All right, just check her record. All right. Thank you so much, everybody that's tuned in. And Amy, thanks again
Absolutely.
for doing this and coming and hanging out with me for a little while. I know I'm a little crazy and I like to laugh and ask crazy questions and that's how you get to know people and build rapport. And thank you for building a rapport with us today.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Thank you guys. We out. Thank you, Miss Trash. Let's go. Let's go vote, baby.
Let's vote. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye bye.